All right, hey, it's Matt. We're back, my guy's garage. As you can tell, we got some piston rings in today. So we're gonna get this thing finished up. So what we've got so far is we got everything set up. I took a piston from my other motor because if you look right here on the sides of it, this is gonna be just a quick walk around here. If you look right here on the sides, right here of the piston, the dome doesn't go all the way out, so it makes it nice for setting rings in the bore. So you come over here to this guy's pistons. Here they are. That one's turned over for some reason, but the point's the same. Hey, you stop it. The point's the same. See how the dome runs all the way to the edge of the piston? Makes it hard to press the rings in the block. So, works out that my other big block's here currently and not completely together. All right. Well, let's put you on the stand. We'll show you what we do to get these rings out. And actually, I haven't had to touch them yet, so I'm satisfied. We've got one hole left. All right. So we'll pull this piston and rod assembly out the way. Move my feeler gauge too, because he's kind of in the way. All right. Now we'll take this first. Oop! I don't have the ring right here. Where is it? Oh, it's back here. Take this first ring. Got him sitting in the correct direction. Stick him in the bore, set him in there, and we'll run him down to about the middle of the wrist pin with my piston right here, and that'll be sure that the piston's squared up, or sorry, the ring is squared up nice. There you go. And then now we will grab the feeler gauge. That's the first ring. We're going to gap him at around 21-ish. A little bit more on the performance-y side than the last motor I did, or I don't know which order the video's coming out in. But if you'll look on my feeler gauges here, I don't know if we'll be able to see them. I'm going to try to show you. They're marked. Let's see if I can show you what we got here. The feeler gauges are marked. This is a 20. We'll move one up. Oops, that was 2. There's a 21, which is real hard to see. There's a 22. So we got all the numbers we need. So we're going to start with a 21 and hope he fits, because if a 21 fits, then I don't have nothing to do. It's a game. We'll go to the next ring. So we'll go in here. We'll hope it drops into place. Look at that. It drops in. It moves just fine in there. The ring's gapped at 21. Don't have to touch it. So now we'll grab the second ring. And this one is also directional. You'll see on it right here is a dot. Make sure that's in the camera frame. You'll see on it right here is a dot right there. So we're going to put him in, and we're going to push him down just like I did the rest of them to where the oil rings sit on this piston here. So grab a piston, set him in. To right about where the oil ring goes. There she is. Set him off to the side. And then we're going to change to a 22 feeler gauge this time. So there's this guy at a 22. And make sure it's a 22. Not a 20. Oh, I switched to the 20. So we'll switch to the 22. And there's a 22. And he should fall right in if all goes as planned. Look at that. Falls right in. It's a hair tight, but it falls in. You can see, I don't know how good you can see my feeler gauge in the block. Let's bring you in a little closer. Alright, so here's your block bore. Bring the feeler gauge in, and we'll run it until we find the gap. Run it until we find the gap right here. There it is, and right, see that? It shows you your gauge is perfect. So it walks nice and smooth like it's supposed to on the ring. And that's all there is to it. So we actually didn't have to bust out the stone at all. All right, just for the fun of it, let's go on the camera and we'll go on and check the rest of this side with make sure it is 22 thou feeler gauge. Let's see if I can show you that. I don't know how good you'll be able to see that. My camera screen's cracked, so I apologize. I can't tell if I can see it. All right, now let's ease down here to the bore on the block. Take your feeler gauge. Look at that. Perfection. Look at that. Once again, perfection. You'll hear it fall right in. Look at that. Perfection. So, there you go. All the holes. The first rings are all gapped at 21. One of them is a hair tight. I don't remember which one it is. I mean, the feeler gauge fits, but I can't walk it. But 20 is perfect, so I'm not going to touch it. I think it's this one, I think. And when I say a hair tight, we're talking a hair tight. And then the rest of them are all 21, so I'd call that one 20 and a half, for lack of better words. And then these, all the second rings are at 22, every one of them. So, there it is. So we will now start knocking ringing pistons and knock them in. So bring it back when it's time to do that. All right, well, I decided to go ahead and take a couple extra measurements with some plastic gauge, just double check my work. Now I'll bring this thing over there and show y'all what we got. See, if you look right there, there's our plastic gauge measurement right there, which is going to be right around 30. I'm plenty happy with 30. All right, so let's do this. I'll bring it back when I finished that up. I just decided I was on the phone, so I went and knocked a rod and piston in. There's one in there. See, he's hanging out down in the hole down there. And so I decided I'll go ahead and check a clearance on at least one of them to double check all my work across the board. So I'm happy. Now let's put it together. All right, I'd like to take a quick brief intermission on the current project we're working on, just to ask y'all to like, share, subscribe, and leave us a comment on the videos, as it helps the channel grow and lets me know what y'all like and don't like about the videos, as well as when you leave a comment, I'm guaranteed to reply, because I reply to every comment left in the videos. So there you go. Let's now return to our current project. All right, and as always, I always save one to ring with y'all on the camera. So now these are a little different. These, as you see, the piston wrist pin actually goes through the oil rail here. So they require an oil rail ring. I guess you'd call it an oil rail ring. I don't know exactly what it's called. I never really paid that much attention. So anyway, I know what it's called. I know what it's for. It's an oil rail. So now if you'll look on this oil rail ring, there is a dot on it. That dot goes down. See the dot right here? It goes down. If you put it up, the other rings won't fit. And more importantly, it goes down into the wrist pin hole. So what I do with these is, and it helps me when lining the rings up, I'll put the part number towards me and I'll put the gap at the part number. So now what you do, open her up. You have to keep on opening her now. It feels like you're gonna break it. This ring is very, very springy, and then you have to be real careful pulling her down the side of the piston, as always, because right here, this thing has a lot of pressure on it. You can see right here, when you grab it, go ahead and pull her all the way down, and it's gonna hurt just a little bit. And there it is. Oh, I missed it just a hair. Now I'm going to bump it up. See right there, I just barely missed it. I'm not going to be able to pick it up, so I have no choice. Yep. So now you walk that ring all the way to the very bottom of the groove, and once she's at the very bottom of the groove, you slide her around until the dot protrudes past the, I didn't set it in the right place when I started, so I'm having to work it. So now, I don't know if I'll be able to show you on the camera, but the dot is right there in the middle of the ring groove right there. I mean in the wrist pin hole. Now, let's ring the pistons. So just make sure that oil ring's all the way down, or that retaining ring's all the way down. And we'll grab a spring ring, and I turn a third turn. Grab a spring ring. Third turn. Grab a spring ring. It just goes right over. Boom, no problems. You grab the next ring. One oil rail. Turn a third turn. You want to put him on the bottom, or at least I do, because I always like to make sure all the gaps are separated. So then you grab the ring, walk him all the way around, just like so. And you'll drop him in. Make sure you drop him on the right side of that retaining ring. All right, now I'll turn in another third turn, and you're back across, right on top of the part number there. So now you will take the oil ring, place it in right here at the top rail. See how that works? And it starts swinging around. And once you get so far around, then you grab the tail by finger and walk him down. And there it is, oil ring installed. Now we'll grab over here in the block, because this is the number 8 piston. We'll grab the next ring on the block. As you'll see, these are directional. And there's a dot. The dot goes to the top. So now we finished right here at the part number. Now what I do is I turn and I go just above the wrist pin. And I'll put this in the second ring groove. That's where he goes. This is the second ring. If I can get it to line the hole up. Alright, so I'll set it in the second ring. Lift up. Swing him around. Just like so. And then kind of walk him down the groove there where he belongs. Just like this. And then you grab it off the side. Don't let it walk down the side of the piston. If you do, what you're going to do right here is you're going to get him to fall into the number 1 ring groove hole, which is exactly what he just did. So now you have to grab it way over here and walk him up. That one wasn't so bad. Put him in. And we'll grab the last ring, or the top ring, in the bore of the engine as well. And then you're going to turn the piston 180 degrees from where you started just then. And we'll turn it towards y'all this time, so you can get the full view of how I do this. Never done this backwards, so take the ring, set it in the groove, like so. Lift the rail up, swing her around, swing her around. All right, that's what she looks like.
Okay, here's what I found.
Stupid Siri. Okay, so as we were saying, we swing her around. You want to keep on walking her down the edge right here, and then when you get to right here, you grab it by the tail. Don't let it drag down the side of the piston, and it should drop right in. Boop, there it is. Now all your pistons are ringed, or at least this one is. In my case, the rest of mine are as well. So you'll see I have a gap here. Turn the ring 180. A gap here on this one. All right, and then we'll start from the bottom. So the part number's here. So that's where the oil rail ring is. You turn it 180 degrees. This will be where the spring ring is. Turn, another 33 degrees. Third turn. This will be where the bottom retaining oil ring is. Turn right here. There's another oil retaining ring right there. And that's how I do mine. Works out nice. Now we will install this piston in the number 8 hole and start knocking these pistons in. Alright, as per the usual, we will pull the rod bolts out. In this case, we actually have rod bolts, not nuts. Alright, pull the rod cap off. Oh, damn, hands are too oily. There we go. Rod cap's off. Set him down there as well. I guess I need to locate the rest of my... Oh, there. Okay, we're good. So we've already wiped all the cylinder walls down with a little bit of oil. So we'll put a little bit of oil right here. Boop. Right there on him. Wipe him down. Okay. Put a little oil on the skirt of the piston right there. Gonna rub him around just a little bit. A little film of oil. A little bit of oil across the skirt right there. Trying to drop it down the cylinder wall as you just saw. And that's it for the time being. We'll set the oil down here out of my way. Now we'll put the part number to the top. And we're on number 2, that's right. Number two. Or 4, sorry, number 4. For those watching me and calling me a dummy. I do know which number which was. Okay, so now you'll take your ring squeezer, open him up, tighten him up, just like so. The ring squeezer is almost too big, but my next one is too small. So, now, I don't know where I set my hammer, so let's see how well this works. Worked out a lot better than I thought it was going to, because I don't know where my hammer currently is. So now let me look at my hammer. All right, well now we're on the bottom side, so let's see. If we look at this bearing, this rod right here, it came all the way down. But look right here, our bearings fell out of the hole. So now what I do is I take this little head screwdriver here. It's not really a screwdriver, it's a nut driver looking thing. I'll push the bearing back in before we get started. Go to the other side, make sure he's pushed in real right. Double check it on this side, because it's the reason I use this thing is because it has real rounded corners. There we go. It's got real rounded corners, nothing's real sharp. And then we'll put the cap back on. And I'm just running them up with the dap gun right now, because I've already checked all the clearances in here, and then we'll torque them once we flip the motor over. All right, well, back to another fail. So let's take a quick peek here. See if we can get in here and show you what's going on. This one right here caught. I heard it on the way by. All right, it's next morning. So after thinking about it, I think we're going to attempt to do a little bit of clearancing. Hey, it's not that big of a deal. I don't like doing it that much, but we're going to go for it. So let's knock the pistons back out of this baby and go from there.